welcome to Wolf Farms. I'm Dawn, also known as Knitting Wolf.
And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us on the internet at wolffarms.net. We have Scent of the Month every month. You get 25% off. And for the month of March, it is Cherry Almond. So you got a couple more days left of the month that you can get that on sale. And we'll be rolling into another sale in April. So I guess you'll find out on the next podcast or visit our site on the 1st and you'll know ahead of time. I want to welcome new and returning viewers. Thanks for joining us today. I got a couple items on our agenda for the podcast.
And those include farm happenings, Farmer's Almanac in the Coop, Flown the Coop, and Roundup.
I did want to make mention of the shop thing. Our lip balm, we had a sale on our lip balms, buy two, get one free. That's actually ending at the end of March. And we'll have a new sale, similar but different, starting April 1st. So you swing on by the shop, check that out on the 1st, and you'll see what goods that we have in there. But we'll talk about it more next week. But I wanted to give you guys a heads up that if you did want to, last minute grab some lip balms on that sale price, it's going to end at the end of March. So take advantage of that while you can, and I'm sure your lips will thank you for it. All right, so farm happenings.
Farm happenings started the week off with bang.
Yeah,
literally.
Well, we were last Sunday after we completed podcasting. It was actually the afternoon. Get that grip.
What's that? Butterfingers.
Yeah. Sunday afternoon last weekend, I was out working and doing my thing, and Jimmy came out and says, "Hey, the power went out for like 30 seconds." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And looked down the street and flashing lights, and looks like accident down the street, must have hit a power pole. And but the power came back on after about 30 seconds. No worries. I sit down for dinner. Dinner's all done. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden, power goes off. I'm like, oh, well, then maybe they're fixing things. And the power stayed off, and it stayed off, and it stayed off. And I look down the street, and we see the flashing lights, and like, okay, well, they must be working on it. So around 8 o'clock at night, look outside, no lights. No, nothing. I'm like, I thought they were working on this. We're still without power.
See, and when we say without power, our water is connected to our power.
Yeah, everything runs off that power. We have solar, but the solar only works when we have power coming in. Because basically our solar is what they call grid tie. So as long as power is coming in, the solar is working and feeding the meter backwards. But if the power dies, it actually cuts off. It's a safety thing, because if something down the line is broken, they don't want our solar energizing the lines that people could be working on. So it's built into the system to actually kill the solar feed when there's no power coming in, and it's just for safety. But so the power gets knocked out, and 8 o'clock, look out there, there's like nothing going on. Not a thing. I thought, oh, well, shoot, maybe I'm just not seeing things. So I hop in the truck, and I drive down the street. And they have the pole pushed off to the side of the road that's laying on the ground that used to stand and hold the wires. And they had some safety tape wrapped around the hanging wires. So it was basically hanging from the two outside poles. The middle pole had got knocked out. And nobody there. Nothing happened. And I'm like, great, this is 8 o'clock at night. Nothing happening. So, well, maybe they'll come back. Maybe they're getting a pole. I think I went to bed about 11 o'clock.
No, it was later than that.
I was kind of waiting because I was supposed to go to work Monday and power for the water pressure and all that stuff. I ended up having to take the day off. By the time I went to bed at 11:30, the power was still off, But they when Don checked the status, it was like, oh, there's only 8 people affected. Well, yeah, we live outside of town, there's not a whole lot of people, but those 8 people really like to have power, And so you went ahead and called it in just to like put a little notch in the belt. Maybe they'll get going, but they finally got the power going the following morning. So, the refrigerator's been shut off for basically 12 hours in the freezer and stuff. And we kept it closed to keep it cool. And, I think it stayed cool enough in there that we shouldn't have had any issues. But, the power finally came back on. And so it's like, so I'm actually going to be cabling up the pump house where I can actually run our generator, which will run all of that from there. I just need to cable it up so that I can do that. So this disaster preparedness now. So, but yeah, so it was kind of a rough start to the week, but we finally got things going.
That's when you notice how often you check Instagram and
the net. Our phones, still allow us to get internet and stuff like that. So, and I can tie our laptop over to my phone to get internet through the laptop. Laptop died out on me at about 10 o'clock. No power. I was actually producing our podcast. So our podcast was like nothing was ready because I usually do that in the evening time and with no power. And I started to actually got it all edited up and started to produce it to the format that we need to upload to our site and whatnot. Died out halfway through. I'm like, so rushed in the morning and got things once the power was on, got all of that taken care of. So you found us on Monday just because they turned the power back on. But so that was how our week started.
Yep.
And
then Jimmy had a dentist appointment to fix the messed up teeth that the dentist a couple months ago had.
Well, he didn't do the filling right. He left some apparently
gaps.
Or he didn't clean out all of the cavity.
Yeah,
completely.
he didn't do that either.
And so we had to go back in and have them redo these 2 fillings, and Yeah. So it was close to having to be a root canal because it was near the area where the root would be, but the dentist did a couple X-rays as he was doing it to make sure he got it all cleaned out and that he had enough space and put some medicine in there, and hopefully that second filling, second go around, is enough to keep it from coming back and causing other issues with his teeth.
Yeah, this was a different dentist, so
yeah, Jimmy likes this dentist.
Yeah,
but it's amazing, you tell the kid, brush your teeth. We go through this, brush your teeth, keep your, and he battles us. Now he's always after the dentist. He always does a really good job afterwards for a period of time, and then it gets slack. So I think he's got scared that it could be a root canal, and so he's paying extra special attention to keeping his teeth clean. So, hey, Jimmy. And then, let's see. Oh, and I actually, this weekend, I've been working on finishing up the drywall in the pump house. That's actually pretty much done. I need to do one quick sanding after the podcast, and then I'm actually going to primer all the walls and everything. That's all. I don't need to paint it. It's a well house, but it does look nice, and it'll keep the dust down and the whatnot, and
if he's ever in the doghouse, we can throw him out there because it can fit a bed.
There's a heater in there. There's water. There's electricity.
There's a bush outside.
And so it's it's 10 by 12. It's decent size, but it keeps all the pump equipment inside clean and out of the weather, and so it's actually looks really nice now. Mm-hmm. Got windows, and told Jimmy that's going to be his apartment. So I've been actually working on that, and it's really close to being done, which is good. So I can move on to the rest of my mile-long honey-do list. We started putting together a list of all of the things that need to get done. So I've got a week off coming up in the near future here. I'm trying to get it set on my my list and an agenda for what I'm going to be working on. Mm-hmm. So I've got always something going on. I know you're wanting your garden. We haven't gotten that started yet. Been tackling weeds. Actually was doing weeds as well. The dogs are having a little bit of a keep away game going.
From couch to couch.
So, so, just keeping busy, but trying to stay ahead of the game, get everything done. That's going along good. And then I did actually have to work on my truck this weekend, too, because the had to have them smogged. Here in California, you have to have your car smogged every other year, depending on the VIN, last digit in your VIN number. If it's even or odd, tells you which year you have to do it. See, you didn't know that, did you? And probably you guys didn't know either, but it's based on the VIN number. If it's even or odd, which year you have to get it smogged. And so we do smog every other year, and this year the truck was due to have it smogged. So I did my typical maintenance. Found that the one belt that drives everything, and the fan and the water pump and the alternator, all that was looking worn. So I ended up changing that before I took it up there. Leave it to timing. It's going to break on me when I pull it into the smog check place to have that checked. But everything passed, and the truck's good, happy and healthy. I did find an exhaust leak, though, that makes it a little bit of a leak to finish that up, and it's amazing how much that little bit of quietness makes. I'm driving on, wow, this is quiet. It'll probably settle in after a while, but yeah. So that was my weekend so far. Mm-hmm. Not done yet, but
I was getting better from the cold.
Yeah, you've been sick
all week,
pretty much all week. So trying to keep you corralled and rested. That's always a challenge.
Yeah, I don't rest well.
Yeah, but you did get a lot of good stuff done, and we'll get onto that in a short period of time here.
Yeah. So, Farmer's Almanac. Cat Crazy Creation, Sonia, asked, she's seen on our podcast where we've shown our farm animals, and she noticed the white duck with the pom-pom on its head. And she's wondering what kind of duck that is.
Oh, talking about fro. That is our Chinese crested duck. Yeah. And they're kind of unique because they do have that
pom-pom,
that
fro
poof of feathers. That's what it is feathers. It looks like a hairstyle, but yeah, he was the one that we have, because we have some runners, which are
the tall ones.
The tall ones, and then what is a Swedish something. He's big and bulky. Yeah. And then we've got Fro, which is our Chinese crested, and that's, like I said, he's kind of unique. And they all kind of grew up together, and so they stay.
Not Fro.
Well, he's still part of they've adopted him into the duck gang that we have. And then we have a group of mallards as well, that are kind of they fly. And so we have them contained in an area where, although we clip their wings, we leave them in there. We don't. I guess we could try and lift them out, but they usually stay where the girls are, and so they kind of stay where they're at. But that's our duck. Our duck.
Well, and then we have group. JJ, who's
she's a. Oh. She's a toy duck.
She's a mini duck.
No, that's a call duck.
Thank you.
A call duck. So she's actually a mini-sized duck, which is kind of funny. And her wings, she's got two...
deformed.
Well, they have a name for that. I can't... Is it clipped? Not clipped, but...
I can't even remember what she was.
Yeah. But since she was baby duck, her wings kind of go out. And they don't really,
like an airplane.
they don't taper in around the body like most ducks do. And that's part of the reason how she got her name is JJ the jet plane, the kids...
Christian cartoon.
Yeah, cartoon, JJ. So she's named JJ because she looks like the little plane going around. But yeah, she's another one of our duck types. So she hangs out with the mallard girl because we keep them separate, and then the mallard boys have their area in with the turkey and a couple of our roosters, and then the geese and the ducks get a free range out around the lake, and everybody gets along that way. So that is Fro.
Yep. So then she has another question for me. She goes, do you take your knitting with you when you travel? Well, one, I don't travel, but there's always knitting in my purse. So if I'm anywhere, because my thing is, if there's a flat tire or...
That's an opportunity.
Yeah, so, any chance,
Dentist appointment,
Yeah,
it could be anything.
Poked my finger. I knitting so much at the dentist that because we were there forever, that my needle went right through my finger.
Not supposed to skewer your fingers.
Well, that's...
I know most of our travel time is actually going to Fuji appointments, and so but you don't really get an opportunity to knit because Fuji's in your lap.
Holding her. Yeah.
So that's kind of opportunity missed because you're taking care of Fuji, but that's about as much distance driving as we do. It's an hour and 20 minutes each way when we take Fuji to her vet. It used to be longer, but the vet moved closer to us.
Yeah. So, but I do always have some kind of knitting, whether it's a preemie hat. Preemie hats are always in my purse.
It's the security blanket that's just not made yet.
Yeah. And it's generally whatever easier project I have. Like this week it was this cardigan or, something that I can just knit.
Well, you usually have socks with you, because it's like you just, it doesn't take a lot of thought. You don't need to keep track of a pattern and all the changes.
You can hurry and shove. And
it's usually something small that fits in your humongous purse.
Yeah, my luggage. Jimmy calls it my luggage. I have a Namaste bag.
Yeah.
Which I've had those bags since.
You've been using those forever.
Yeah, probably 10 years or more.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
But they're huge. She can live, I think, a week on what she's got
because
you
women know that men don't carry purses. So where do they put all their crap? It goes in your purse,
Yeah, but that's only like one
Unless
or two things.
It's your brother, then he carries the female bag. What's that called? He has a name for it.
Satchel. It's like, what is that movie? Vegas. Hangover.
Oh, yeah.
Hangover. So, what's in your coop?
In my coop I dug out my old whip that I had put down, and this is Thea Coleman pattern, Planter's Punch, and Baby Cocktails. I started this in December or January, sometime, and but I needed something else to knit, and I'm using vintage DK, Barocco vintage DK, in the raspberry colorway, 21108. And I only knitted on this morning because I needed something else to knit on. So this is the back. You can see it's all just a
you're having an issue remembering where you were
at
on that.
Yeah, it's bad. Here's the front. So, because I had it put away for a while, and you got to remember, what are those stitch markers signifying, and which side's the front, which side's the back, and where was I? So, yep. So
So now you're back up and running and everything's...
Yeah, I'm right at the bosom area. The bosom.
But now you're... Because right now it's just knitting around,
It
right?
will be,
Okay, because I know you got past all of that. The lace and the stuff that was...
Cables,
the pattern on the back, pattern on the front, and you were getting to the point where it's just...
Yeah, because besides the cables, it was pearl. So, yeah.
So...
Now it'll be knit.
See?
Which will go quicker.
See, that's where you should have stopped, right? When you start doing the knit, and then you can... easier to pick up.
Well, I was right there, but because I like to keep trying it on so I know, because I didn't want it ending at a certain point.
I get your point.
Get my point. So I have that, and then spinning. I'm still spinning the Crown Mountain Farm Blueface Lester. Blueface. I'll just be making it French. Enchanted Waters. So this is what it looks like. Tossing things here.
Knocking your finished objects on you.
So it's almost done on the bobbin, but this is exactly what it looks like, and it'll be 2-plied. So.
Yeah. Coming along?
Yeah, I just do my 15 minutes a day. I think there was quite a few days, though, this week that I didn't even get a chance to.
Well, I was going to say, you've been sick, so it's been more parking your hiney on the couch. Yeah. So.
Flown the Coop. So, flown the Coop. I've worked on the preemie hats again, because I'm having so much fun with these, and it's relaxing, and...
Yeah.
So I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 11. So I should have done one more and it would have been a dozen. So I did 4 out of this yarn. And these, I have no idea what the yarn is. It's just random baby yarn.
Excess stuff that you have sitting around.
So 4 in that. And this is for the Moms with Yarn, Remembering Remy knit along they're doing. And then... that's actually, and then 2 in this one, and then 3 in this yarn. It's got a shimmer to it, and then 2 in this one. And I got a big ball of this, so there will be a lot of these ones.
Well, that's a good thing about that small size hat is that you can finish up a lot of like the little excess yarn that you have. And then you take your little strands from clipping off that and you put that into your jar for the birds to make nests and stuff.
Yeah, that's getting quite full. I need to go give it to them.
Yeah.
So then I completed 2 cardigans this week. And the first one is done out of Diabolical yarn in her Strong Arm Skinny 2-ply Superwash Merino 20% nylon. In the Flamingos on a Croquet Lawn. That's a mouthful. And here's the finished little baby sweater. And look at those buttons. They're just like perfect. So, isn't that so cute? And in the back. So that's one done. And then the next one is done out of Lorna's Laces Shepherd Sock Superwash Wool 20% nylon in the J Pond colorway.
And it is still damp.
Yeah. But I had to show you. I don't know why things are taking forever to dry. The other one took forever to dry this week. Because we've been dang warm. Hot. I guess I should put it outside. But you know, the buttons just bring out that peachy pink just perfectly. So
yeah, we've been 90 degrees, I think.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Hot.
So 2 little sweaters.
Awesome.
That's why I'm like got those done, and it's like now it's time for
a big something.
Big something. So yeah,
awesome.
Those are my finished objects.
Yeah. Is that it?
So
round up. So don't forget, we have our monthly Hatch Knit thread. You can put in anything you finish in the month in there. We close that out on the first, and then we pick prizes. So next podcast, we'll actually have the winners of the Hatch Knit. We also have some stitch markers to give away. We get $10 gift certificate for Wolf Farms, or you can win some stitch markers that were donated by Philippa for someone that's entering in the Hatch Knit thread there. We do that every month, so it doesn't matter when you start it. If you finished it, throw it in there, and you might win something. Something good. And don't forget, free Wolf Farm Video Podcast button with any paid order at Wolf Farms. Just go ahead and ask for that in the comment section when you're checking out, and we'll be happy to stick that in your package, and you can use that to decorate your knitting bag or your button monster if you have one, or really anything you want, because it's decorative and good stuff. So I think that about wraps things up then, doesn't it?
So until next time,
Let's get cracking and hatching it. Bye, y'all.